Okay, so this time I'm going to just let this run normal time to show how to pull the ailerons apart, or how I tried. That is an X-acto blade, but it's a special kind of little tip that's a little teeny weeny saw blade. It's super fine. And so what I do is I very carefully, after putting some, I had to put reinforcing blocks where the ribs are. I very carefully go through and start getting a little purchase and start delicately cutting, just sawing back and forth. And you basically work real slow and careful. So all I'm doing is sawing, and I can feel when it starts to get through, but I don't go all the way. I sort of go maybe 3/4 of the way through, and then I go to the next one, I go to the next one, and then I get to the very corner, and the hardest part's the corner, because the corner has got to be up vertical, and it's got to have a nice sharp edge. But as I'm going through here, I'm not actually getting through completely, partially because I'm on the board itself. But what you got to do is make sure that everything is supported well. So my fingers are spread out there, trying to keep things nice and solid, because you don't want to slip and you don't want to pull things out of whack. Because these are all, except for that one that my middle finger's on there. That's a 1/16 spot or rib. The others are all 1/32. So here I'm trying to start a vertical cut, and this is dicey. This took a long time to sort of just get it so. But I got close, and I can see when I'm looking. You can't tell very well with that picture, but I can see it when I'm getting close to my hinge line, and then I stop shy of it, and I figure I can go back. Now I try to do this on the bottom, so now I can't put it on the board. I'm afraid I'm going to crush things. So now I just sort of find the centers of the pieces, and then I just very gently go through, and I think you can tell when I get through. As I was doing this, it was just a lot of careful sanding, light touch, letting the little saw do the work, and then suddenly it just gives way. I think you can see it better on one of these, maybe this one. You can actually see the saw sort of. You can see that I kind of stop. Now this I noticed I was starting as I was going through. Ooh, that looks deadly. As I was going through, I saw I wasn't really following the line as much as I should, so I started on the opposite side. And as it got going, like right there, it gets going. Then it actually went through really nice. Maybe this one will show better, because one of these, when I did it, you can see kind of when it. Oh, there, I guess. And so I went back and forth on all of these on both sides, just to be careful. And the idea is to let the saw blade do the work. Once you get it going, you just let it do its. There you go. That was a really good one. You just let it do its thing. Little pressure, constant movement, and dang if it didn't saw through. And then this is the corner here again. This is tough. Not hard, but just to make it so that's careful. And what I do is I saw as close as I dare, vertical, until I can get it as close as I can. And now the tips, so where my index finger there is and where the knife is, those are not cut through. So I took a sharp X-acto blade, which that one wasn't sharp, by the way, and then just very carefully sawed or cut through and got it to cut. And then I thought I'd do the same thing on the tip, through that laminated tip. The laminated tip is very strong and really nice. But I realized, I might just damage it. So I started a groove. I will take this and finish it off. And again, once you get it started, it took about 4 or 5 swashes, boom, and there it was. And then I had to just very carefully come back and sort of finish this off and make sure it's clean, and then pull it apart. Now right there, I can't see it now, genius camera work, I actually pulled the rib at the trailing edge on that little piece actually came off, but it's super easy to fix. It's not a bad thing at all. It just it just clipped up because that's a very stressful part as I'm trying to saw that through. But lo and behold, I got it. And now the idea is I have those little pieces that are in there that are sort of for reinforcement. I think it's all still pretty light. I hope it'll be worth the slight weight addition. It'll help me trim the airplane, I hope. Now I just go back and I sand things. Everything actually, if you looked at it in real life, is pretty flat. It didn't cut in slices or anything, but it still behooves you to sort of sand it a little bit, clean it up, and round the edges ever so slightly. And the next thing will be to very carefully take a little teeny weeny drill, a pin vise, and some wire, twisty tie wire I usually use just from the grocery store, and or from baggies that you can buy. Although nowadays it's all plastic is banned. I'm such a horrible person. If you can find twisty ties in a plastic bag, they work great. And that little wire works well. I suppose you could find some florist's wire might work, although that seems pretty thick. But I will drill little holes, and I will just match these things up. And I will stick them in, and I hope I will get you don't need much movement. You got two big ailerons out there. There's a lot of wing moving there. So I think that should do it. And then I took the other side off before I filmed this, only because that side actually didn't go so well. But the whole thing, that was live and worked very, very well. Ready to sand and cover.